समिट को जो है वो आगे बढ़ाएगा और उसकी सालसी के अंदर जो है वो ये सिलसिला आगे चलेगा। वो अभी आए थे और वो इस वक्त कर रहे हैं।
This clip is from Sunday from Switzerland, where the delegations of Iran and the US are talking about a peace agreement. And this particular clip, you see the Iranian foreign minister is meeting the Pakistani delegate, and then he walks out of the talks. US Vice President J.D. Vance is watching, and then he comes over to the Pakistani delegations and asks them what happened. What really happened was that President Trump, when he was talking to Fox News, he said, if they close the Straits again, they won't have a country to go back to. So he actually threatened the delegates to assassinate them. This is not the first time it happened. Israel has assassinated the negotiation parties before. And even this time, Iran and US delegates were supposed to meet on Friday. But there was a leak, and the Pakistani intelligence found out that Israel was going to take out the Speaker of Iranian Parliament, Saeed Bakr Kalibaf. So this is not new. And the Iranians walked out, but later on, the mediators, Qataris and Pakistanis, spoke to them and convinced them that no such thing is going to happen, and they came back. The Iranians came back because they were already talking to experienced psychologists who were telling them about US President Donald Trump's state of mind and why he says these things as a negotiation tactic, but he does not mean that. You're watching Pivot Report, and this is Sulaiman Malik.
Yeah, I would describe it as very good progress, too. I mean, look, we want a regional ceasefire, right? We want Hezbollah to stop firing at our friends in Israel. We want Israelis to be able to live in peace. We also want to make sure that, when things happen, they don't spiral into a broader escalation. And so we've been, I think, very good at setting up what we're calling a de-confliction mechanism. But what it really is to say that when things happen, the sides are actually talking to one another.
As you just heard, that the progress on Lebanon was satisfactory for both the Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi and the US Vice President J.D. Vance. This is a key issue, and the biggest success of these talks is that both Iran and the US agree that Lebanon is a very important issue because they both want a regional peace. This is very promising. And they both understand that Israel might try to destroy this peace agreement. That is why J.D. Vance clearly mentioned a de-confliction mechanism. What he means by that is that even if small skirmishes start, the parties are still talking and they can settle things down over a period of 30 to 60 days. Besides Lebanon, there were two important issues for both sides. For the Iranian side, they wanted their frozen assets to be provided to them. And also, they wanted the sanctions to be lifted. The Iranian foreign minister is claiming that he got both of those. On the other hand, the US, their two most important issues were opening of the Straits of Hormuz, because the global oil prices are linked with that. That was one. And the second was letting IAEA back into Iran. According to US Vice President J.D. Vance, they got both of those. The interesting part is the US had both those things before the war started. The Straits of Hormuz was open, and Iran was open for IAEA inspectors to come in. Actually, this is the same deal that the President Barack Obama struck with Iran. And in one of his interviews, he says it's highly unlikely that a better deal can be reached. So in reality, President Trump scratched that deal for no reason. Listen to former US President Obama for yourself.
We went about trying to negotiate a diplomatic agreement that would get the enriched uranium out of Iran, that would assure that they could not get to a nuclear weapon without us knowing about it, that it was internationally agreed upon, and that there were mechanisms in place to enforce it and verify it. And we pulled it off. Without firing a missile, we got 97% of their enriched uranium out. Well, not only did I think it was working, even Israeli intelligence thought it was working. Even our intelligence services thought it was working. So there's no dispute that it worked, and we didn't have to kill a whole bunch of people or shut down the Strait of Hormuz.
Essentially, the deal President Donald Trump is trying to strike with Iran is the same as the deal President Obama struck with Iran. What's the difference? There's only one difference. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not able to convince any previous American president about waging war against Iran. However, in February 2026, he came to the Situation Room at the White House and gave a 90-minute presentation convincing President Trump that in a couple of days, the regime in Iran will change. That did not happen. And now President Trump is making the exact same deal that President Obama made. We put a lot of effort in our broadcast. Subscribe to support our broadcast.